A very warm welcome to Through Lucy's Lens, weekly videos where I go somewhere interesting and hopefully you will find it interesting too. You are with me today on a bucket list day. This is the reason I have flown to Northern Ireland. This is the reason I got such a big smile on my face. I am at the Ulster American Folk Park. This is a living museum that tells the story of migration and emigration from Ireland to the USA. Honestly, I've just had the warmest welcome I've ever had to a museum in my life. And that's just how they greet everybody. Walked through the first few exhibitions, I've whet my appetite, and I can tell you folks, today is going to be a blinking good day. So let's go. Welcome to the Ulster American Park in Omagh. This living museum tells the story of emigration from Ireland to the New World, the USA and Canada during the Victorian period. So it focuses really on the 18th and 19th century. It focuses on the lives of ordinary people who left their homeland in search of a better future. In today's video, we're going to explore the old world part of the museum, rural life in Ireland during the Victorian era, and explore the lives of some of those who made it to this so-called New World. Many of you watching may have ancestors who took similar journeys all those years ago. And I don't want to build expectations up, but as a social historian, my day at this museum was one of the best days of my life. This week, we'll look at the Old World section, taking in life before the journey to the New World. And in next week's video, we'll be stepping onto an original transatlantic vessel to take the 12-week voyage to Baltimore, USA. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I'm Lucy, social historian and your guide. And if I stop talking during the video, don't adjust your sound. I offer moments of quiet throughout my commentary for reflection and to help you feel like you're here with me. Our journey in rural Ireland begins at a squatter's cottage. This is the most humble dwelling, representing the poorest class in rural Ireland during the 18th and 19th century. These cottages were built on marginal land without legal rights, reflecting the precarious existence of the people who lived here. Life in a cottage like this was incredibly challenging. The families relied heavily on the potato as their primary food source. The Great Famine of 1845 to 1852 devastated this way of life for folks living in places like this. This led to mass starvation and emigration. During this period, approximately 1 million people died of starvation and another 1 million people emigrated, primarily to North America. It would have been highly unlikely, however, that a family living in this cottage would emigrate. The cost of the voyage alone would be totally prohibitive. And I want to debunk the myth that only the very poorest embarked on this journey for a better life. The simple fact is the most needy could never afford to even try. There are some stories of communities and churches banding together, putting together life savings to send one or two promising inhabitants of a cottage like this to the New World, but it was rare. Next is a weaver's cottage, and this cottage shows the domestic life of somebody who worked in the linen industry that once thrived in this area in Ulster. Weaving provided a modest income for many families, with both men, women and children contributing to the production of linen cloth with the work done inside the home. With the onset of industrialisation and competition from mechanised mills, this led to the decline of home-based weaving like this. This economic downturn forced many skilled weavers to seek opportunities abroad. Between 1851 and 1860, it's estimated that 81% of all emigrants to the United States were Irish. A family in a cottage like this might save up to send one family member with the hope of forwarding the fare to come back to join them in the New World once they were settled, and for other family members to join them later. Next is the Mellon Homestead, and you cannot help but be enchanted by this farm. The Mellon Farm is a special place in this museum, not only for its historical significance, but also because it's the original building around which the entire museum was developed. Located in Castletown, County Tyrone, this stone cottage was the birthplace of Thomas Mellon, born on February the 3rd, 1813. At the age of just 5, Thomas emigrated to Pennsylvania with his parents, later becoming a successful lawyer, judge, and the founder of the Mellon Bank in Pittsburgh. Thomas's story shows the potential for upward mobility once you were in America. His success particularly inspired many others from Ulster to emigrate, seeking similar opportunities. By the end of 1854, nearly 2 million people, about a quarter of Ireland's population, had emigrated to the United States in just 10 years. This house, however, is where his life started. The cottage is a single-storey stone structure measuring approximately 36 feet in length and 18 feet in width. It features a chimney at one end, 2 windows and a door at the front, and 2 windows at the back. The interior is divided into 2 rooms by a partition. The front room contains a large open fireplace with a chimney that projects 6 feet above the hearth. This was used for cooking and heating. The back room served as the family's sleeping quarters, where all the family would sleep together. Andrew and Rebecca Mellon lived here in the cottage with their children, including Thomas. While specific records of the exact number of occupants are limited, it was common for families of that era to have multiple children. 9 or 10 was not unusual, and also extended family members might also reside in the same household. This cottage's size and layout suggest that it probably accommodated the immediate family and possibly other relatives or lodgers, reflecting the communal living conditions of rural Irish families during the early 19th century. Next is the Campbell House, and my goodness, did I love this house. The Campbell House illustrates the lifestyle of middle-class Presbyterian families. Religious and political factors also, of course, influence families' decisions to emigrate. Many Presbyterians faced discrimination under the Anglican-dominated establishment in this area of Ireland, and that prompted them to seek religious freedom and equality in America. This house was built in 1786 by Hugh Campbell, and it served as the family home to Hugh, his wife, and their 12 children. Hugh Campbell was a substantial landowner and farmer, and the house's construction reflects his status. Above the door, there's 2 stone plaques. One bears Hugh's name, and another inscribed with the armorial of the Dukes of Argyll, signalling the family's claimed kinship with the Scottish Campbells of Argyll. In 1818, 2 of Hugh's sons, Hugh Jr. and Robert, emigrated to America. Robert Campbell became a notable figure in American history, achieving success as a fur trader, businessman, and close associate of the US President Ulysses S. Grant. He settled in St. Louis, Missouri, where he became one of the wealthiest men in the state. He extended his real estate holdings as far as El Paso and Kansas City, serving as president of 2 banks and managing the Southern Hotel, the finest and most luxurious hotel in St. Louis. Inside the house, I just absolutely loved it. It features a formal parlour room, a room which was used for entertaining guests, and it's furnished with carved furniture and decorative items. A court cupboard dating 1641, possibly a wedding gift, is prominently placed opposite the fireplace, and this showcases that this family has wealth and social aspirations. The dining room is equipped with a sideboard and a shelf displaying fine china. A little note on china displays. I noted all the homes in this museum, whatever the occupant's social status, there was always a small display of china. China was a real display of social status and social aspiration in 19th century Ireland. A woman could show her neighbours how well they were doing, not with her dress, but with her china collection. Even the poorest families would display what they had with pride, particularly if a piece had been purchased using money sent back from the New World. So as we go around the museum, you'll see more of this, and it's not something that I've seen so obviously displayed in the living museums I've visited in England. Another interesting little fact about this house is that the walls are over 1/2 metre thick. They were constructed using lots of little stones collected locally and moulded together and finished with whitewash. Another difference I noticed in these rural homes was a lack of wallpaper. Even in the most affluent homes, the walls are brightly painted in a whitewash. The next building that I really loved, and I thought it was really important to include in this video, is Tullyallen Mass House. It was built in 1768 in Tullyallen, County Tyrone, and emerged during a period of gradual relaxation of the penal laws which had previously imposed severe restrictions on Catholic worship here in Ulster. Constructed on land leased from a liberal Lord Charlemont, the building served as a place of worship for the local Catholic community. Its architecture, as you can see, is a plain hall with a thatched roof, whitewashed walls and simple sash windows. It reflects the modest means and resilience of the Catholic congregation who came here to worship. The interior just features rough pews, a wooden altar and open rafters. There's a fireplace at the west end, and that suggests that the building was also used as a schoolroom, while there's a room at the back that provided accommodation for a priest. I feel that the Mass House stands here as a testament to the challenges faced by the Catholics in Ulster during the 18th and 19th century. I feel that this Mass House stands as a testament to the challenges faced by Catholics in Ulster during the 18th and 19th centuries. Religious restrictions, economic hardship and limited opportunities contributed to a sense of disenfranchisement amongst many of the Catholic community, and this prompted waves of emigration to North America in search of religious freedom and better prospects. I found it really moving while I was here that a mass plays in the background as you walk around, praying for those family members who have made the journey to the New World. And of course you might have been sat here feeling very strongly that it was highly likely that you were never going to see that loved one again. Just found it really, really moving. The houses just kept on coming, folks, and can you even imagine how happy I was, but also kind of stressed because I knew I only had one day here. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying it too. This is the Hughes House. It was originally situated in County Monaghan, and the Hughes House was the family home of John Joseph Hughes, born in 1797 in County Tyrone. John Hughes spent his formative years in this cottage here before emigrating to America in 1817 at the age of 20. This house has been carefully dismantled and reconstructed here at the American Folk Park. John made the journey from this tiny cottage to the upper society of the American Catholic Church. After arriving in America, John pursued religious studies and was ordained as a priest. Due to his leadership qualities and a dedication to his faith, It led to his appointment as the first Archbishop of New York, and he also initiated the construction of St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. This was probably my favourite cottage in this side of the museum. I really loved the display of mugs, such treasured but humble belongings, and it had a really nice feeling in here. I hope you liked it too. So you've decided that you're going to emigrate to the New World. What might you need to prepare for this experience? Where could you go to buy the things you need to prepare for your voyage, for the voyage itself? Well, this part of the museum, in the Old World section, recreates a 19th century Ulster town. And it made me really think about the daily lives and pivotal moments of those preparing to emigrate to North America, Canada, or other parts of the New World. Throughout the museum, there were also ticking clocks. In every building, there was a clock ticking. And it really made me reflect, would this be me counting the minutes with excitement, fear, or even a sense of mourning? At the heart of the High Street here stands the Mountjoy Post Office, and this was a vital place for emigrants and their families. Between 1851 and 1901, approximately 135,000 people emigrated from County Tyrone alone. A post office like this would facilitate communication across the Atlantic, allowing families to exchange letters, photographs and parcels. Money and postal orders sent from America often provided crucial support for those remaining in Ireland, or it would also enable other members of the family to emigrate. The establishment of the post office savings account in 1861 further helped individuals save for their journey to a new life abroad. Letters sent between Ireland and America in the mid-19th century typically took 3 to 12 weeks to arrive, depending on the shipping routes and weather conditions. This delay meant that news of significant events such as births, deaths or safe arrivals was received long after they occurred, adding to the emotional strain on both sides of separation. Originally located in Mountjoy Village, County Tyrone, this post office operated from 1861 until the early 20th century. It was managed by the McGuinness family, who provided essential postal services to the local community, and it was brought here brick by brick to the museum. I suppose really as the postmaster, you'd learn all about your neighbours in great detail because you'd be party to the telegraphs coming in and out from America before they even reached their recipients. I particularly loved the simple living accommodation out the back and upstairs in the post office. Take a look around, and again, there's a very fine display of treasured china in here. You might also want to visit the Stationers to stock up on writing paper or other sundries. In 1900, R.J. Blair opened this business in Strabane, County Tyrone, serving as a printer, stationer, newsagent and bookseller. He sold photo and scrap albums, purses, pocketbooks, birthday cards, religious books, toilet soaps, perfume, dyes, and he even sold musical instruments like melodeons and concertinas. The shop was also the exclusive outlet in Strabane for the regional newspaper, the Derry Sentinel. Central to operations in the shop was this magnificent Wharfdale cylinder printing press. First built in 1856, the machine significantly advanced the printing industry, enabling mass production. Blair used the machine here to make his own headed paper for bills and receipts, posters, notepaper, black framed funeral cards, and all other kinds of stationery. And of course, for emigrants, stationery shops like this were crucial in maintaining connections with loved ones left behind. The local pub on the high street was kind of more than a place for just refreshment when somebody was emigrating. It was a communal space where families held what they called American wakes. These were farewell gatherings for those departing. These events would be filled with music, dance and storytelling, and they served as both a celebration of the individual's new journey, but also a mourning of their departure, acknowledging the likelihood that they may never return, and hence they were a form of living wake for the people departing. Out of those who emigrated, only around 1 to 2% ever returned to Ireland. For many, this wasn't because they were having the time of their lives over in the New World. It's that they simply could not afford the return sailing home. Hill's Chemist originally stood from around 1870 on Castle Street in Strabane, County Tyrone. The shop was operated by James Hill, and it continued to serve the community here until the late 1980s. The amazing interior, it really is amazing, including all this original mahogany fittings and furnishing, has been moved and relocated to the museum. In an era before the National Health Service, of course, chemist shops like Hill's were often the most accessible and affordable source of healthcare for everybody. James Hill not only dispensed medicines but also provided advice and remedies for a range of ailments. The final shop I want to show you is the tailor shop. Now, I know I've got a subscriber who works on historical textiles over in the USA, so I really wanted to get some good footage of this for them. It's a wonderful shop, and although it's a recreation, it shows clearly where you could buy your clothes. Those who could afford it would purchase new outfits for their journey across the sea, similarly to how we might today when we're off on our holidays. It was important to be well presented, smart, and practically attired for your long journey. Most people would travel with just one or two outfits, one pair of shoes and some kind of linen or blanket which might be given as an heirloom for your journey. Those with a larger income might travel with some kind of trunk containing not only clothes but your worldly possessions. But many would travel with just the clothes on their back and whatever they could fit into a small bag. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're still here, even bigger thanks. This museum was an absolute gem. And yes, it really was as quiet as it looks on the video. I don't want to get on my high horse about protecting heritage, but museums like this need visitors. It was such a beautiful day and I felt like I had a private viewing. So if you're planning to visit this area, you really must consider a visit to the American Folk Park. And if you're not planning to visit anytime soon, please like and share this video to spread the word about how amazing this place is to as many people as possible. Next week in part 2, we're going to be hopping on the Brig Union for our sailing across to Baltimore, and we're going to arrive in the New World. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you as always for coming along with me today. Every single one of you is so appreciated. Your likes, shares and of course comments, I love to read them. Even though I must admit I am a little bit behind on my replies at the moment, but please bear with me, I will get to them as soon as I can. Until next week, goodbye.